What is up, everybody? My name is Christine, and I am obviously your Joe Schmo when it comes to sports knowledge. And I am here to ask all the questions that hopefully you have at home
through your splatter screen. And I am Sarah, your self-proclaimed best sports expert, and I'm here to answer all of the questions that Christine has, and hopefully all of those questions that you have at home. So if it were up to Christine, today we would be talking about college day football, but what it's actually called is college game day. And I wanted to do something on college game day because it started last week. And of course I put it all over the story and I was so excited about it because they were at an HBCU, at a historically Black college and university. Oh my God, I blanked for a second, didn't know what HBCU stood for. And you were like, well, can't we just do like a total episode on college game day? Because I feel like there's a lot that goes into it that I don't know. And I was like, oh, great idea. So here we are, college game day.
Just to clarify, people, I do know what college game day is. But going into the depths of it is exciting because there is a lot about it that I don't know, which I'm assuming that a lot of you don't know either. So really, Sarah, let's just start at the very top and just kind of talk like what it even is.
Yeah. So college game day, it's actually, okay, so it's sponsored by the Home Depot, right? So it's technically called ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. That's the official name. And it's a pregame show by or on ESPN for the different football games that are happening that day, but it's like the pregame show. So just like, and we can probably do another one of these episodes on, oh my gosh, Sunday morning football. I forget what it's called, with Randy Moss and all those people from the NFL. This is that show for college. Like literally, it's like the show that you watch on Saturday morning if you want to know what games are happening that day. And it's like hype. It gets you like so hyped for the day of football.
Yeah, awesome. Because it starts really early in the morning, right? Like it starts really early in the morning and then goes pretty much all day until the game starts, which usually isn't until what, like 5?
Okay, so great question. So it's every Saturday morning. So the college game day show specifically is only for 3 hours. So it's from 9 a.m. to noon every Saturday morning on ESPN. So what goes all day are, some sort of analysis on the games. And there's obviously, the announcers that are at the different games who are announcing the games and giving you kind of play-by-plays. But the games start at noon. So college games start at noon. And then the primetime game, which is usually college game day's location, doesn't start that night until around 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So that's like the primetime game. So there's literally football on all day.
So I'm guessing these primetime games that they choose to travel to are the games that are like big rivalries and they're like the big name schools. Like typically you don't really see a lot of small name schools in college game day, except obviously Coastal Carolina is not a big name and they were on college game day last year.
The reason why they were on college game day is because BYU was such a big name, right? The quarterback for BYU was like one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He got drafted in the first round and is playing for the Jets. And like the top 5, I think he was did he go first overall? No, he did not go first overall. Anyway, that's why he was on college game day. And remember with COVID, the football games were getting canceled left and right. And they pulled that game together like super last minute. So it was
you're right. Didn't their first game get canceled or something versus another team?
Yeah, they had a vacant Saturday. So there was a Saturday, BYU did without a game. And I guess Coastal, I think, that's right. Liberty was supposed to play Coastal. Yes. And then Liberty got COVID. I think they got cold feet, not COVID. I think they got cold feet and yankety yanked out. And so
feet? How would they get cold feet in the playoffs?
Well, it wasn't the playoffs yet. It was just regular season college football.
Why would they get cold feet though? Just
because Coastal. Okay. So Coastal and Liberty are really big rivals. They have been in everything, right? Mm-hmm. But Coastal's kind of gotten a bigger and bigger name for itself. I think it started in baseball whenever they won the College World Series. a few years back. I think it was 2016. And so their football program has really benefited from that. So they've become a much bigger program. Mike Tolbert went there, Josh Norman went there. So they've gotten a bigger name for themselves, right? So in the years where Liberty and Coastal Carolina were huge rivals, now Coastal Carolina can totally smash Liberty. I say that. And then of course, like this year they'll lose to Liberty or something. But what I mean by they got cold feet, I'm not saying that they blamed COVID and they just wanted to yank out anyways, but it was going to be a primetime game and we were planning to go anyway. And then Liberty got sick, they pulled out. And so Coastal Carolina had a vacant Saturday, BYU had a vacant Saturday, and BYU literally planned like it was a Wednesday. Like they knew on like Wednesday that Liberty pulled out. And so on Thursday, they like I don't even know how they made it happen. And then game day last minute. I mean, it was crazy.
I remember it was a cluster, but I also remember that we all lived vicariously through you in the stories because it looked like so much fun. Everyone made posters. You guys were up like bright and early. You were on TV.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody,
it was so fun.
People were jumping in the fountains afterwards because Coastal beat
won. BYU. Yes, I know. And we were not supposed to win. Pretty sure like everybody on the panel chose BYU to win and Coastal Carolina won. And yeah, it was an insane experience. So you brought up signs, Christine. So this is kind of under our like who goes to college game day. And I kind of wanted to start with the crowd first because that'll kind of trickle into the signs. But the crowd on college game day, if you can think of like the creme de la creme of pep rallies, that's like the best way to describe college game day.
So hype. Like everybody wakes up early and is just ready to go.
So pre-COVID, you would have like people would camp out. People would literally bring their stuff with them and spend the night there. Can you imagine how long of a day that would be? Like I think of Virginia Tech, like I was not there whenever they were on college game day, but they were on college game day after I graduated and I was watching it. And the amount of people, like, oh my God, it literally puts butterflies in my stomach.
Well, it's definitely a COVID nightmare now whenever you think of how many people are in a crowd, right? But I mean, ideally people like camp out so they can get a good spot and see the panel, right?
Yes.
We'll get to the panel too after we talk about the crowd.
Yes, exactly. So the crowd comes and you see like a sea of people. I mean, it's total, debauchery and craziness. And people have been, like I said, up since Lord knows when, pre-gaming this 8 a.m. college game day. And then they continue to pregame and tailgate for their primetime game at 7:30. It's literally like almost a once in a lifetime experience. And so people definitely like make the fullest out of the situation.
Go hard or go home.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's just a completely different experience.
So you mentioned the sea of the signs. So what's the deal with the signs?
Yeah. So this is one of my most favorite parts of college game day is reading everybody's signs, right? So it's really kind of between the signs and what I call like the, like the staple flags that are that are waving in the back of college game day. Those are kind of the two staples along with Corso, which yes, we will get to the panel in a minute of college game day.
I feel like there's always some sort of cheerleader too, right there at the front. There's always a team cheerleader, always right there at the front.
So that you're so right. Now they have different sections. They have like the Home Depot section, which is, and that's like the Home Depot tailgate section, I want to say. So it's normally somebody with like a grill and they're like grilling something.
Yeah.
And then there's like some people in stands there. And then right along, like right behind all of the cameras where all the panel is, yes, they'll have like all the cheerleaders. And so all the guy cheerleaders will be like holding up the girl cheerleaders and the girl cheerleaders will be like eye to eye. With the panel. So they'll get on TV. Yeah. I didn't even write anything down about the cheerleaders, but they're a huge part of this, obviously.
I also remember last year, right behind the cheerleaders, there was somebody who was a freaking genius and put his Venmo name on the sign and said, yeah, send me beer money. I'm a broke college student or something like that. Send me beer money. And he got so much money.
Christine, did you read my notes? That was one of my most favorite. I literally have in here.
Are you serious?
Some of my most favorites have been the starving college students. It was specifically at Virginia Tech.
The
I think,
Venmo handle.
yeah. So I think it had been, obviously it had been used before, but one of the first times that I had noticed it, because of course I was like watching the Virginia Tech one, like Hawkeye, was the Virginia Tech one. And the guy was like, I'm broke, need beer money, and put his Venmo. And I just sent him $5, but I was scrolling through the amount of people he made, like, I mean, thousands of dollars off of College Game Day because
Sarah,
his
it's so
Venmo
funny
handle was
because
front and center.
I did the exact same thing. I was about to Venmo him $5 for beer money and then saw his profile and was like, holy crap, this guy just made freaking bank. And he is a genius.
Yes, I know. So smart. So smart. So back to the sign thing, it's not a requirement to bring a sign, but the majority of people do. Like when you think of College Game Day and you're going to be there, like you want to create a sign. The goal is to get on TV for the TV. So the TV, the camera will pan out over the crowd every time that there's a break, whenever they're transitioning, whatever they're doing. And they'll want you to cheer really loud, which you do anyway. Mm-hmm. And they will a lot of times zoom in on a sign that they've pre-selected to be like, that's a good one. That's a funny one. That is, very clever. That has something to do with the game. They scout the signs. And the creme de la creme goal is to get one of the hosts, one of the guys on the panel to say what's on your sign.
All right. So I'm glad you said that. So let's talk through the panel.
Yes. Okay. So on the panel, we've got Kirk Herbstreit, who everybody calls him Herbie, Reese Davis. Herbie, yep. Desmond Howard.
Okay.
David Pollock, Lee Corso, and Bear. And then Bear. And so I do need to bring up Maria Taylor because she was a huge part of it like in previous years, but she's no longer on it moving forward.
Okay. Why?
Well, okay. So her contract was up. That's a good question. So her contract was up at the end of last year, and her and ESPN, I guess, couldn't come to an agreement, which is really sad. So they're now just kind of bringing in, like, I didn't know the girl that was on it last weekend, but they're bringing in like different female anchors and just like highlighting the different ones. But Maria is no longer with ESPN, which is really sad.
So with the whole ESPN panel, you said there's Herbie, Reese Davis, Desmond Howard, David Pollock, was Maria Taylor, but not anymore because her contract ended, Lee Corso, and Bear. But what are the significance of these people?
Like, yes. Right. Okay. So Kirk Herbstreit, basically all of them are either going to be like big name previous football players or previous coaches.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes, and so I don't need to necessarily go into each individual one, but the one person that you really need to know about, and then I'm going to highlight another one just because I like him. So the one person that you need to know about is Lee Corso. So everybody on the panel, cutest. Oh my God, I literally melt, Christine.
He's so, I kind of have a weird obsession with old men anyways, because they're all freaking adorable, but Lee Corso is really cute.
He's so cute.
He's 86 years old, you guys.
So stinking cute. Okay, so Lee Corso, like you said, he's 86 years old, and everybody on the panel calls him Coach. They don't call him Lee. They don't call him Mr. Corso. They call him Coach because he was a coach. Mm-hmm. And in the last 30-ish minutes of every College Game Day, the panel picks who they think will win all of the biggest games for the day, right? And then, so there's usually around like 20 games, I would say. And the main event is that primetime game. So like I said, College Game Day is at typically a college campus. This coming weekend, it's actually in Charlotte because Georgia's playing Clemson. So I'm going to try and go. I don't know how that works. I was going
to say, you have to go.
I'm going to try. I don't know what that looks like or if we have to get tickets and what the COVID rules are, but I'll look into it and I'm definitely going to try and go. But it's usually at a college campus, right? So the last pick and the whole panel picks, but the main event is Lee Corso picking who he thinks he is going to win between the two teams. And again, one of them is usually like where College Game Day is being set up, right? So the home team and then the opposing team, and they're usually big rivals or it's usually a really big game. And he's the last one to pick. And underneath of his desk or underneath of his chair, hiding, is a mascot head. And that is, he picks the mascot head of who he thinks is going to win the game. And obviously the crowd goes absolutely wild no matter which way he picks, but they go wild with excitement and cheers if they pick the home team. And they go wild with boos if he picks the opposing team.
And that's the thing that's so fun about College Game Day is there are so many fans from both teams that are there. It's not like, obviously, if majority will be at the fans of the school that they're traveling to and that they are visiting, but there are still going to be so many fans from the opposing team that travel to Game Day because Game Day is such a big deal. Yes,
it's such a big deal. And that also brings up, Christine, the flag. So there are a few flags of a few different colleges, like you said. So it's not just the home team or the opposing team. It's also, there's like this tradition among a few different colleges that their flag travel to every single college game day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I actually, when I was in Conway, ran into the guy with the Clemson flag and I was like, oh my God, like you're going to College Game Day to wave the Clemson flag. And I asked him all these questions, and what he told us for Clemson specifically, I don't know if this is for every school, but the flag itself travels. The people don't. So like the flag.
So it's not just your typical Clemson flag. It's obviously one that stands out. That's always on TV.
Yes. And they're always on like extendables. So like they're on these.
How do they travel? Like, how do they navigate that?
I don't think they ship the extendables. I think it's up to the person who's going to Game Day to put it on a pole that's long.
I know, but like, how do you know who's going to the next game day?
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's alumni associations. Again, this is just for Clemson, but I would assume this is kind of how they manage it for all the other ones. But like this was this guy was a part of the Myrtle Beach Clemson Alumni Association. And so the previous alumni, the location of College Game Day Alumni Association will reach out to the Myrtle, wherever the next one's going to be. They ship the flag. It's up to that person to go to game day, get the extendable, and then you'll look for them this coming game day.
I'm going to now. Yes. I'm going to. And that's some serious dedication. And I'm not surprised that Clemson is one of the two schools flags that travel to College Game Day.
There are more. I just couldn't think of any other ones.
Got it.
There are for sure other. And like I mean, you can look for the Clemson flag this weekend, you guys, but Clemson's on College Game Day. So there's going to be lots of Clemson flags. But another one that you should look out for is the Washington state flag. They call it Old Crimson, like OL' Crimson. And that is a staple at all of the College Game Days too. Apparently it's been there since the inception of College Game Day. So look for, like I said, you can look for the Clemson flags if you want to this weekend, but there'll be a gajillion of them. Definitely look for that Washington state flag.
I'm going to, whenever I find it, I'm putting it on the story. It's like, where's Waldo in a crowd of, a million people.
Yeah. So one of the other things that's really cool about College Game Day, Christine, is for that, how I was telling you, they pick 20 games for the day, and the last 30 minutes or so, the segments are all the panel picking all of their games. And then Lee Corso, obviously putting the mascot head on at the end. Mm-hmm. Well, they always have a guest picker, and you don't know who the guest picker is usually until that day. There's always talks about who the guest picker is going to be, but the guest picker on College Game Day every College Game Day has a guest picker, and it's while the rest of the cast, so they're introduced right before all those picks happen, and the guest usually relates to the hosting university in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a former athlete, a current coach, or a popular alumni. The one for Coastal Carolina was Dustin Johnson because he just won the Masters.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes, and he went to Coastal Carolina, so they had him as a guest picker for all of the games.
Obviously, the guest picker is going to pick the school that they go to, right?
Right.
It's never a surprise.
Exactly, which is why you always see, from a fan's perspective, front and center, because like I said, it's usually from the hosting university. So if College Game Day was at Virginia Tech, they would have a Virginia Tech alumni there. Mm-hmm. And so you get to see the reaction of what a fan is thinking when Lee Corso puts that mascot head on. And like you will get like raw emotion out of these people if Lee Corso puts the opposing head on. It's like, I mean, just anger and tears and boos and all of the emotions. So
it gives you
really
such a fun perspective, you know?
Yes. So love College Game Day. Watch it every single weekend. If you follow us on Instagram, you will know they also do like the special segment every weekend. And it's supposed to be like some sort of story. And like sometimes it's uplifting, but 99% of the time it makes me cry. And
literally 100% of the time it makes Sarah cry. And most of the time, I can't even lie, it makes me cry too. But Sarah's worse.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst. So yes, I try and post real-time reactions to College Game Day on the story just to keep you guys in the loop, just so you know that you're not alone if you're crying. And I might be alone while crying. So hopefully I feel like I am the most emotional human being when it comes to those types of stories. And it's first thing in the morning. I mean, it's 9:00 in the morning on a Saturday.
No, I get it. You're barely awake. Like I said, I make fun of you a lot for crying, but then I like actually watch it myself and I'm like,
I know it definitely pulls on your heartstrings. So yes, Game Day is just not about sports. It's about the hype. It's about the crowd. It's about the fans. It's about the signs. It's about the flags. It's about those special stories about a celebrity and a guest picker and Lee Corso being the cutest man on the face of the planet. So do yourself a favor. Every Saturday at 9 a.m., I can hear the music and we're coming to your city.
Hey,
Gonna hang out there and play me a country song. Yep, that's the entrance song
that
to
was
it.
beautiful.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And what better way to start your Saturday morning?
Yeah,
I mean, wake up. You're barely awake, cry a little bit from the stories, drink your coffee with some football. And just get hyped for the games that are about to come on.
I was going to say
football season.
And as soon as it's over, football games start. So you literally roll from 9 a.m. to noon College Game Day, noon to 3:30 game, 3:30 to like 7:30 game, and then 7:30 to Lord knows how long game. I mean, literally, it's all day football.
It's
what else
the American
could you ask
dream.
for?
You literally don't have to leave your couch. Just keep popping open those brews.
Yep, and move my recliner farther and farther back as the game goes on.
All right, you guys. Well, that pretty much wraps up this week's episode of It's Sports Sis. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram, and we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.